Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jameson Reynolds and I'm your worship and media pastor for South Community Church. And this is our second tutorial video over ProPresenter and our SEC media and tech team. Before we go any further, we talked in the last video about just some of the basics of how to navigate ProPresenter. There are some really in-depth and cool training videos that ProPresenter has. You can just go to renewedvision.com/ProPresenter, and then right here you can see the tutorials link and click on that. There are all kinds of great tutorials about just about basically everything you can think of. So these are some great tools to look at as far as learning more about what you can do with ProPresenter. But in this video I want to talk in depth about basically how we at SEC use ProPresenter on a Sunday morning. Now usually the tech and media team arrives around 9 o'clock as the band does rehearsal. That's a great chance for whoever's running the computer that day to go through and double check all the slides, who's ever running sound, to make sure all the sound check sounds good. So we'll start there. Pre-service, as the band's rehearsing, it's always good for whoever's running computer to go through the slides together. So when the band runs through Joy to the World, just simply clicking along the slides with them. And how to do that is a very simple thing. To make sure that the slides are shown on the screen, you simply, to start the presentation, can click on the song, and then you click on the first slide, and that brings up Joy to the World, the first lyrics, and you can see how it's on the preview screen, which is actually what's going on the projector. To move to the next slide, you simply just have to hit the arrow key and it moves to the next slide. You can see it transition. You can use the mouse. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a lot slower to do it that way. And so just as the band's going along and singing the song, you're just paying attention to listen to them sing it, going to each slide by pressing the arrow key forward. And you kind of just want to make sure that the song layout is perfect and everything is where it should be. If something is somehow messed up, or songs or slides are out of order, I'll show you right now how to edit it. So Joy to the World, how you would edit that, it's very simple. You would scroll over to the library window. You look up the song, and here we find Joy to the World. And this, you can open it up in an edit window. You click here on the bottom left side, and it says you can open it in editor, and so it would bring in this screen. And now this is the easiest way to edit it. So you can see the first verse, the second verse, and so on. So say for example we were wanting to repeat this chorus again. That's the first part of the chorus, that's the second part of the chorus. If we were wanting to repeat it, you could simply hit Command C and copy that. Now that's the first part. Here's the second part. Hit Command C and copy it again, and you can see that it is changed by this yellow kind of indication right here on the song and right there in the library. And say that was the only thing we needed to change, you would hit Done, and then you can go back to it in the presentation. And to make sure that change stays the same, you just want to save it, and all you have to do is hit Command S. Hit Command S and it saves it just fine. So pre-service, you just want to be going through, looking at each slide. Like I said, the arrow key is the easiest way to move back and forth. So we usually go through the songs in order as a worship team. So that's the first song. You would run through the second song simply, like I said, just following along, making sure all the lyrics are right, there's no typos, there's no misspellings, and everything's in the correct order. This is a vital role, and it really requires some attention to detail. So it may seem like you can kind of tune out, but when in fact you really need to be paying attention, probably more than anyone during that time, making sure that all the lyrics and everything is perfect in that portion. Also, after the band has gone through all the songs and they've rehearsed all the songs and everything's good to go, it's always good to check the videos, make sure the volume is good on the soundboard, make sure the right videos are firing up. So I just want to go ahead and just fire off a couple of them. To fire off a video, it's very simple. You just simply hit the play button. And as I told you earlier, you can see the timeline indicator below. It shows how long that video. There's 14 minutes. That announcement video just loops. We usually start that video right around 10:15. The band should be done, and once everything's checked, that's the final thing we do. So check that video. It looks good. Check the next video. Like I said, all you have to do is hit the play button. Pretty simple thing. Another thing that we want to make sure is always up to date are our announcement slides. You can see right here we have these 5 announcement slides. Usually these first 2 announcement slides don't change. The first one being welcome to our first time guests and how they get a coffee mug. We usually have the eat and greet right after. We didn't have the eat and greet last week. We had a chili cook-off, so that slide was up there. And just usually 2 to 3 other kind of relevant announcements that Kenny will be talking about. A big thing, it is extremely important to make sure all the announcement slides are up on the screen while Kenny is talking about them. This is sometimes the only chance our congregation or our people have the chance of hearing this information. So not only them hearing it, but being able to see it on the screen is extremely important. So during the announcements, you definitely have to be paying extra careful attention to what Kenny is talking about and making sure the corresponding information is on the screen. That's all for now for our part 2 of our video. We're going to have another part here, part 3, and we're going to be talking just a little more in depth about ProPresenter and some of the finer things and how we use it on a Sunday morning.